Hey there, Saints fans! Welcome back to Talking Saints. It's been a while. It was originally 1 month, and now
Yeah.
it's been almost two
Yeah,
months.
we originally filmed the episode that we're filming today on January 14th. We had some
Yeah, there you go.
issues with TikTok shut down, which shut down Mematic, and it kind of ruined our editing process. And I mean, he can talk a little bit more about that.
Oh yeah, so TikTok's being canceled or whatever. That was like okay, whatever. But I guess a CapCut, not Mematic.
Yeah, that's what I
Cap.
meant.
But I know what you meant. Yeah, I know what you meant. But CapCut apparently is owned by whatever TikTok,
Yeah.
and then that was shut down as well. So I was like, it's like the oh well. Anyways, and then I went, oh wait a minute. So it finally came back online not too long after I made that video,
Yeah.
just kind of explaining, hey, well, we have a video on the way. But then I pulled up that video in our editing software, and which was CapCut, and it only had 22 minutes of the footage.
Yeah,
20.
so we got some lost footage out there for the Talking Saints.
Yeah, I tried fixing it. I don't know what happened. So we actually normally we keep the camera facing us. Now it's flipped, and I'm gonna have to flip it, and you won't notice anything. But that way I can keep track of the countdown or whatever, the timekeeper at the top.
Yeah.
But look, anyways, not to mention we also didn't film any episodes for those last couple games because you really didn't need our help to tell you the
Yeah.
Saints were going to lose
No,
those games.
It was rough. It was hard to kind of hang in there as a Saints fan. Didn't seem like there was a lot to look forward to every Sunday. I mean, we'll just briefly touch that last start against the Bucks.
That was a fun game.
It was fun to watch. Spencer Rattler showed a little bit more than he had in the previous games. Limited his bad turnover type plays and was able to kind of extend some plays and feel a little bit more comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching the game. I mean, it was one of those games that we lost, and it was like, okay, moving on.
It was kind of better that we lost, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah, we had the ninth pick, which let me just rant for just 2 seconds, and we'll talk about this later on. The fact that the Panthers are above us in our
it's so
division, but they're
goofy.
I hate that. That makes no sense.
And it's like you say something like strength of schedule is like I don't get it. So because of the strength of schedule, they we they're above us in the division, right? Or something like that. But because of the strength of schedule, they get a better draft pick at the same time. It's all
Yeah, it doesn't make
it's
any
all
sense.
goofy. I don't understand it, and I
Because honestly, and we'll talk about this some again later on. We're going to talk about the draft. This is our, by the way, just stick around. This is going to be a long episode. I'd say probably in the 40s to 50 minutes.
probably.
But we're going to go over head coaching, which that was a lot longer.
Yeah,
that was a long
no.
part of the last episode.
That
It's
took
not
us
gonna-
a
it's
good
not gonna be
like
that long.
30 minutes to get into last
Yeah,
time.
we're going to go over some of the upcoming free agents for the Saints who we think we should re-sign if we re-sign anybody.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go over who we think we're going to take in the first round or who we would like to take. But it just that 8th round pick or that 8th pick overall pick, I would feel a lot more comfortable having that pick than the 9th pick.
Yeah.
Because I'd at least get one of my top players.
Panthers also probably have pressure to take the player that we're gonna.
They always do that,
just
don't
'cause
they?
That's,
Don't they do that? I don't. You know what, Panthers do it.
yeah, they
Last
killed,
couple times you've
they
done
helped
it,
us kill DeMar Hamlin.
What do you mean?
You got to tell them the story about Tommy Stevens.
Oh my gosh, you're
Tell 'em
right.
that
I forgot
story,
about
yeah.
that. So we traded up with the Bills to get Tommy Stevens, so the Panthers couldn't get him. And that pick that we gave the Bills, they got DeMar Hamlin with that
Yes.
pick. So it's our fault that DeMar Hamlin almost died on the field. It's the Saints' fault.
DeMar Hamlin was either 6th or 7th round. He got drafted in, but that was our pick.
That was our pick.
So the Saints
It's our fault.
killed DeMar Hamlin.
Well,
The more you know.
anyways, we'll get on track. So look, those last couple games rough, but who cares? We got a top pick. We give pretty much an entire new coaching staff. So we kind of talked about in the last episode, which you didn't see, the potential of Kubiak leaving. He's gone. Kubiak's gone. I think Andrew Giacchino or whatever, Giacchino is gone. Janako gone. And today we found out.
Brilliant, by the way, putting our quarterbacks in a deep freezer. Yeah, it resulted in us getting 0 points. Like, what a legend. See you later, buddy.
What are you talking about, deep freezer?
Andrew Janako put Spencer Rattler and Jake Hayner inside of a freezer and made them call plays in preparation for the Green Bay game.
We didn't score a single point that game, did we?
We didn't score a single point that game. And I went there. I flew to Green Bay. I drove
I
through
didn't know
a
that.
blizzard to get to that
I knew
game.
that, but I didn't know the whole deep.
You didn't know that?
You said something about it earlier, and I thought you were just saying. I thought it was like a
I thought I was just
metaphor.
yapping. No, he put them inside of like the freezer at the Saints facility and had them like run plays on the playbook.
Well,
Crazy. And,
that is
and,
crazy.
and we were terrible.
Well,
Terrible
yeah,
game.
and he's gone, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But we found out just today being the 6th of February, Joe Woods is gone, our defensive coordinator, which I'm okay with that.
To Oakland, right?
Yeah, he's a Raider.
With
whoa, Las Vegas.
with Pete Carroll. Like we just a month ago we were talking about Cowboys, the Bears, the Jags, the Raiders, the Jets. Who's gonna go where? And now that's all set in stone. And it's just us that's waiting on a head coach.
Which-
and the funny thing is we fired our coach first. Or maybe the Bears did, but we have had
It was the Jets.
the Jets, that's right.
Because remember
We've
at the
had
very
a
beginning,
head coaching open for a while.
who was the guy that said, "I think the Saints are going to fire their head coach first," and then we made a meme about it, and
Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, that's who it
who's
was.
normally not too bad with his takes. We proved Kurt Benkart wrong though. He said we were only going to win 2 games.
We got
We
him.
won 5.
we won 5. My gosh. Anyways,
Yeah.
all right. So
L-Pig.
at the very beginning of last episode, which you didn't see, again, we're going to refer to it as the
The lost tapes.
lost tapes. The lost tapes. We had our head coaching. We had Mike McCarthy, Aaron Glenn, Joe Brady.
Those were our big 3 that we
Yeah,
were
that's what we
hoping
thought we
for.
were gonna get.
Well,
Glenn is a
Definitely.
Jet. Brady said, "No way, Jose."
yeah.
And Mike McCarthy got the
He
news.
would rather retire than come back.
Well,
to
no, Mike McCarthy.
He said, I'm going to take a year off. So
I think Mike McCarthy's actual thing is we were going. I think we've had Moore as our guy for a while. We've been waiting for him to lose,
possible.
but he's
It's
in the Super
possible.
Bowl this weekend.
Yeah. Good luck
Um,
to you, man.
So Kellen Moore, he has an opportunity to. I think it's the consensus pick who we're gonna have as head
He's
coach.
Definitely the favorite. We still got Mike Kafka hanging around there. He's an he's been with the Giants most recently. Had some success a couple of years ago. Somehow dragged Daniel Jones to the playoffs. But
That's wild.
before
That's a feat
before
in
that,
itself.
he was an Andy Reid guy. He comes from the Andy Reid coaching tree. We won't dwell on that too long. I mean, he's still in the running. I don't think he's got the best shot. I definitely think it's Kellen Moore. And then the other guy who's holding out hope is the one and only interim Saints head coach. and
The
that
Rizzler?
is The Rizzler, Darren Rizzi.
Yeah. Rizzy, I have nothing against Rizzy. I think he's a great coach in terms of
definitely
his
special teamer, yeah.
his leadership. I think he's a great leader. But that being said, I don't think he's not the guy that's gonna. He'd be a tank commander. Kellen
I
Moore.
think the biggest problem with Darren Rizzi right now, if we ended up hiring him, is our entire coaching staff is vacant. And I kind of don't trust a special teamer to fill offensive roles and defensive roles
Yeah, I
on
mean,
my football
he's been
team.
around for a while. I mean, he
Yeah.
knows, but at the same time, look, here's the deal. Again, Rizzy, we appreciate what you did. We loved having you as our interim head coach. But Kellen Moore, the thing with Kellen Moore, and it was between, for the offensive coaches at least, Joe Brady and Kellen Moore were the 2 guys that I was excited about.
Yeah.
I don't really want Kafka. Kingsbury, no.
No,
Kingsbury,
he's somebody who can stick where you're at, get better. There'll be better opportunities in the future, and he's someone who's young and needs to kind of learn and grow. He went to Arizona and was the head honcho there, and things kind of unraveled, especially further down the year. But I think that year in Washington with Jane Daniels and Dan Quinn, I think he's matured a lot. But
Yeah,
he wasn't interested in our job, and
I don't blame him. He has Jaden Daniels as a quarterback.
Yeah,
We have
you don't wanna
Spencer
lose that.
Rattler and Derek Carr, and what? Anyways, but again, the consensus is Kellen Moore, and
Yeah.
he was a part of that that dominant Cowboys offense as we've seen in the past.
He had a lot of success with Dallas. Then he left.
Jerry Jones holds back Dallas, so
Yeah,
you
it was
can't
a
really need to get out of there.
Mutual kind of. They left on mutual terms.
Yeah.
He went and was the offensive coordinator for the Chargers.
And what are you
Kinda
gonna do
had
there?
A lackluster season there, but he was behind Brandon Staley,
Yeah,
who is one of the worst coaches I've seen in a while.
he's very Dennis Allen.
He's very Dennis Allen. He was a defensive minded guy. I don't want to insult the man. He was kind of a beta type personality, which
It can't be your head
do your
coach's
own thing, but
personality.
your
It
head
can't.
coach has to come in and take command. We learned that with Dennis Allen. You can't.
Yeah. So, and that was my other thing.
He's had a lot of success with the Eagles.
Obviously he's
in the Super Bowl.
so and hopefully he can bring some of that to us.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more. We'll probably have just an episode on Kellen Moore, so we're not dwelling into it too much. If he's our head coach, I mean, obviously nothing's on paper yet.
Yeah, we want to see it. He's also a younger guy, youthful, kind of very reminds me of Kirk O'Connell on the Vikings. A young guy, played quarterback, very knowledgeable.
I'll say this, Alex, we're not conspiracy theorists, are we?
No, we definitely are.
Okay.
Hardcore.
So the not necessarily a conspiracy, but it is kind of strange that the cycle is continuing, right? Every couple of years, there's a lot of things that have happened when the Saints were about to get good. Hold on,
You're talking about the theory I've been talking about?
Yeah, hopefully that one part isn't. So
no, I don't even know if we should put
you better get some blue tarps
online.
But here's the thing: the last time we hired a Cowboys offensive coach, he turned out to be a pretty good head coach. So Kellen Moore, I hope maybe he'll follow that trend.
Okay,
and
so we're just talking about that.
Not the hurricane part. No, not the hurricane part.
Not the blizzard and the hurricane. All right.
Hopefully not the hurricane part.
That can be like a YouTube short or something for another day.
Let's move on before we get canceled, huh?
Yeah.
No. But look, so once we get a real definite head coaching signing, we'll make another episode. Speaking of episodes, we're not going to do them as often during the off season, just because there's not much going on. We'll talk during the draft. We'll have some episodes. We'll have some fun little trivia episode. We love trivia. We love Saints trivia.
Free agency episode, draft episode, trivia
but during that time until we get back to the training camp, when we had short. We've almost. I mean, it's crazy. We're only 2 months away from Talking Saints being a year old.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, man.
We'll have to document some of our experience. Hopefully, we'll get another invite to the Nick Underhill NOF draft party.
We need to take all of our Saints experiences this year that we've had, like some of the goofy videos we've taken at games and whatnot, and group it all together as like a
highlight reel.
Scenes, yeah.
Well, I talked about during the.
Yeah, let us know if you'd be interested in something like that. Put it down there in the comments.
If you're watching, I mean, are you still watching? I hope you are. But I talked about doing like a title card with the intro and doing like a kind of a sitcom-ish video. I talked about doing that during the bye week. Obviously, it didn't happen. But I tried to do it. We didn't have enough footage at the time. Years gone by now. We have more footage. But okay, we don't have all day. And we're almost at the 22 mark, and that might cut us off. Not really. I don't know what happened last time. Either way, so again. We're gonna have to hire a new defensive coordinator. We're gonna have to hire a new offensive coordinator, and we'll probably have to
position coaches as well,
and the special teams coach. We'll have every single one of our head special position coaches. That being said, Kellen Moore's gonna call the plays, so offensive coordinator is kind of more of a. It could be really anybody.
Yeah.
The big ones are gonna be if Rizzy can bring in Rizzy. Godspeed. If Moore can bring in a decent defensive coordinator, because. If we're still following the trends there, we'll probably have a pretty good defense, and then we might have some of the. I'll just say this: Arch Manning is going to be great. Talking about a quarterback that comes in and.
We're not going to go into our season predictions for next year yet. That'll be a different.
I'm just saying,
probably not going to be a bright outlook.
A quarterback that played in Texas. If I'll just say this, if Arch Manning tears his shoulder this season. He's ours.
either him or Justin Herbert needs to have that kind of setback.
Oh my God, it's gonna be Herbert, dude. That's 100%. Herbert's gonna have it. That's it. Wow. So you get your Justin Herbert Saint jerseys ready. We might.
Yeah, we've never had a quarterback in New Orleans with the last name.
All right, so I know this is kind of an off-topic thing. I know, but we haven't had anybody wear the number 8 because of Archie.
Yeah.
Do you think if Arch comes to the Saints, he wears 8? 100%, right?
Yeah. Heck, I'd put him in 9 if he wants it.
I don't know about that one now.
No,
8. He would. That'd be really cool. Have him come in there and wear his granddaddy's number.
And some of us wouldn't have to buy new jerseys.
Yeah, for real. Right. Well, and then dust off the old. But Anyway, Colby bought one of our coworkers bought an Arch Manning jersey, but it's like the one of the uploads. That's another thing I want. I want to see some updated uniforms. To state that we are in a new era. Give me some new uniforms. I want these. I want these uniforms. I'm gonna put them on the.
Best you get is the black helmet with the mohawk and the.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. It would be fine with other. I'm a uniform guy. I'll rant on that. I want to. If I can find it, I'll put it up on screen. There's some uniforms that anyway. I don't need to put on screen. Screw you. I'm not editing that. I'll tell you what I want. I want our throwback uniforms. Kind of a modern throwback uniform.
Primary home.
Yeah, and then make our color rush our away jerseys. Those are beautiful.
I love it.
Do it, Saints. Do it. I know you're watching.
Yeah,
hey,
at least let us lose in style.
At least let us lose in style. I'm cool with it. I am cool with it. If we can get some cool uniforms, I will take losing next season. I'll call it a win, even though we're gonna lose. We'll get moving on. There's my rant. All right. So look. We'll talk about, like I said, we're gonna talk about the re-signings. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the cap space because we're gonna go into the free agents here. Obviously, the big dog eating up most of that cap is Derek Carr. So we've been Carr supporters to a
Carr sympathizers.
Yeah, we're not as big. We haven't been as big on the hate train as a lot of Saints fans are, at least Twitter fans.
I look at this contract situation. It makes me sick.
It's terrible. I don't know.
I mean, he gives the average quarterback play. I don't know what to tell you. He's not the biggest problem on the team. There's holes everywhere. So
yeah,
we're not chasing him out of town with pitchforks, but we're kind of ready for him to leave.
Yeah, so if we restructure his deal, we could save $31 million, but obviously that keeps him as our quarterback.
And ties us to him another year, and we still got to pay it just further down the line.
Here's the thing. I don't mind Carr. I think we've all kind of talked about it. Voice crack there.
It's just we're not that competitive with or without him.
Yeah, well, the problem is Carr will get you
7 or 8 wins.
If he started all season, we probably win 2 more games, right?
I'd rather win 5 or 6 games with a guy like Jameis Winston.
Yeah, go and lose some games.
The heart of the city, or even Spencer
Tanking doesn't always work, right? But in this case, the NFL's okay. Look, the NFL's not rigged, but it is. The NFL's rigged, and they're not going to let one of the Mannings be bad. Let's be real. The NFL is not going to let the Mannings be bad. Arch Manning doesn't care.
Which is another reason why we need to have Derek Carr this year and try to win as many games as possible because they're not going to let us draft him. Because they don't want us to be good.
So you're saying they're going to let us win games
this year
to make sure we don't,
so that we don't win games in the future.
It's big brain. That's a big brain move.
Theorism.
Not only that, but this is old news at this point, but Ryan Ramczyk officially retired. He also signed a vet minimum, saving us $16.7 million. God bless you, Ram.
Thank you.
God bless you. We love you.
He's done miracles on me.
He will always be one of my favorite Saints. He's just solid. He's a great dude.
Great right tackle.
I remember exactly where I was when we had when we re-signed him to his big deal. I was in right above. It's above Hattiesburg, Mississippi. It's called Ellisville, Mississippi. I was taking a test for what we do for work, and I just passed the test. I was excited, and I went and I walked out, and I finally got my phone back, and I was like, "Oh, that's really good." Nice. And then his knees died. God bless him. God bless him. If you look up pictures of him right now, he's a skinny dude now.
He is.
All right, moving on. So this is going to be kind of an unedited episode. I'm going to kind of just throw everything up here. I might put up some of the stuff we're looking at. Maybe I won't. It's been a long time since we've had an episode out. Maybe I just want to get this one out of here.
Yeah.
Here's our free agents, right? So we got Chase Young, Juwan Johnson, Peyton Turner, Willie Gay, Tano Capasino, Oli Udo, Lucas Patrick, Will Harris, Paulson Debo, Adam Prentice, Justin Herron, Ugo Amadi, that's a long name, Dante Pettis, Marquez, Valadez, Scantling, one of my personal favorites, Shane Lemo, Shamar Jean Charles, Nafai Sewell, Landon Young, and Trajan Jeffco. Out of that list, we have a mutual pick. If we could only re-sign one of those guys, who's it going to be?
Well, I mean, it's probably Marquez, Valdez, Scantlin, or Paulson Adebo.
Yeah, that's a consensus.
Yeah,
those are the 2 guys I would pick.
I know Paulson kind of, from what it looked like, he kind of had an off season last year, but he still leads our team in interceptions last year.
Yeah, and then I mean, it's not like it's not like you never saw anything out of him. Like even with Alante, you've seen Alante be dominant, and all of a sudden not.
He was rough this year.
I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I want to say it was our coaching.
Yeah,
I hope it's our.
very uninspired.
I
And
wouldn't-
also our D line was not very good this year
You know,
outside of Brian Brzee.
I just want to say the defensive coordinator at the time when our secondary was one of the best. He could technically come and be our defensive coordinator. He was
Chris
like a
Richard or Ron Nielsen.
yeah. I was gonna say Chris Richard. Chris Richard would be a great. I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm
I don't know
not.
if you know what I've noticed is that everybody who leaves the Saints doesn't want to come back. So
I think it was probably Dennis Allen.
yeah. we'll see.
No, Dennis Allen does not lead a ship.
Well, I mean, with Joe Brady and
Knows how to
Aaron
sink
Glenn
one.
don't want to be here. I mean,
Well, it's because of our cap. I mean, there's a lot of reasons the
it's a
Saints
lot.
are
But
cap. Mickey
we'll
Loomis.
lock in. So some of these guys. I mean, how do you feel?
Oh, real
go
quick,
in
I did.
order,
I
guess?
did.
Oh,
Your grandpa wanted me to say that we should fire Mickey Loomis. So
wow! Shout out, pops.
shout out Pops. He was like, you guys need to talk about firing Mickey Loomis. So there it is. We should fire Mickey Loomis.
Nice. Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
But yeah, out of these guys though, let's just if I could put like a I'm gonna pick 5 guys that I think we should 100% re-sign. I think Paulson Adebo, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, get them on that list, right?
Yeah, that's 2 for sure.
Right. Put Will
That's
Harris
agreed.
there, huh?
I agree. Will Harris. Yeah, I think he was really good for us this year, and not just playing safety, but he brought a lot of juice, and he was really the only one who was, I would say, was laying people out other than Demario.
Yeah, he was a heavy hitter for sure.
Yeah, packs the
Um,
punch.
I think you'll agree with this next one with Marshawn Lattimore being gone. You can't have too many quarterbacks. Give me Shamar Jean Charles on that list too.
He kind of. I wanted to see more of him and Rico Payton last year. There were times where Alontae Taylor was, truthfully, he was not playing good, and Ugo Amadi was just horrible. And I wanted to see one of those 2 guys make it on the field. You know, obviously Kool-Aid, he's got a lot of potential. He looked decent, and I think he can build on that. But we need help at corner. Outside of Kool-Aid, I don't think.
Hmm. You think we
There's
could draft a
any-
corner? Ooh, maybe we'll talk about that in the next
Yeah.
segment, which you should stick around for. I agree. I think
And
you
he's-
can never have too many solid corners.
Him and Rico Payton, they're nice, they're cheap. Play special teams. That's important.
All I know is Alex will.
Yeah.
Alex might shoot me if
I
Ugo
don't want
Amadi is on the
Ugo
team.
Amadi on the team. He's the other thing is it's easy to find a slot corner. I mean, look at Chauncey Gardner and Bradley Roby and PJ Williams.
Yeah,
They all filled in just fine.
if I would love to bring Chris Richard back in some form or fashion because our secondary hasn't been the same without him.
No, it hasn't.
Willie Gay, I'd be cool bringing him back.
Willie
don't-
Gay's- Yeah.
But you know what? I would be really cool bringing him back because we're gonna have a completely new defensive coaching
Yeah.
staff, and they might want to use him in a different way. In fact, really, any of these guys, especially offense that Kellen Moore wants to bring back, he has a vision
Yeah.
for them. We talked about it today. He said everybody has a superpower. It's up to coaching to find out how to find
Yeah,
it
to
and
bring
use it.
out. One that I'd like to bring back that I know you're not highest on is it's really just because of his versatility on the offensive line, and
Yeah.
I don't want to bring him back per se as a starter, but somebody like
Sure.
how James Hurst came onto the team and was just kind of the backup that could play any position for you, and that's Lucas Patrick.
Yeah.
I mean he had some injury issues when he was out there. He wasn't a complete liability, just a decent plug and play when you have to, and I mean I think he's a cheaper veteran option that can play.
Sure.
Yeah.
We talked about this. So our mindset when picking these players, picking these people, if they're not going to be beneficial to you 3 years down the road,
Yeah.
get rid of them. That doesn't mean you can't have some of these veteran guys.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, should you re-sign Chase Young?
I mean,
Probably not.
no. I mean, the thing is, he's decent. He's solid. He's not who you thought he was going to be when he got drafted at second, and I think that's obvious.
But I'm not going to steal this. This don't in terms of I'm not going to take credit for this quote or this idea. But Mike Triplett was talking about it. Chase Young didn't play himself out of our price range.
No, he's still in the same $12 to $15 million range that he was last year.
I would love to have him on the team. Don't get me wrong, because
Yeah,
we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean,
A
Trey
lot
John
of
Giver,
guys.
4 edge rushers leaving. So, and
Yeah.
that's my fifth guy, by the way, is Peyton Turner. Bring him back. He's not going to be expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to be expensive. He's
Yeah.
a rotational guy.
I think.
He's probably going to be
I
injured,
think
so it
we
doesn't
need
matter.
to kind of save a little bit for Shaheed too. We need to. I think Dante Pettis did enough in the return team that he could come back as a returner. He also caught some balls too.
Yeah,
I think that.
I would.
Well, I mean, you got Bub Means coming back too. I'd love to see MVS, Bub Means, Chris Olave, and Shaheed.
Bub Memes has potential. Well, we kind of talked about this at the beginning of the season. We really thought A.T. Perry was.
Oh my
gonna-
gosh, I don't get
That's
it.
crazy. That's the biggest downfall
we
of
made a
ever.
highlight video, and A.T. Perry was just all over it because everything that he did was just absolutely insane.
Like
He's not
A.T.
even on
Perry
practice
is a
squad. Like,
A.T. Perry pulled a mid-season Emmanuel Butler.
Like he's gonna be like the MVP of like the UFL this year probably.
You remember Emmanuel Butler?
Yeah, Emmanuel Butler,
What a-
training camp goat, dude. Never
He-
made it onto the field.
He was the mid-season Emmanuel Butler.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was crazy. I can't believe it. I wish things turned out different, dude. I
yeah.
don't know. I think that was a Dennis Allen thing. I really do. I think
Yeah, maybe.
it was a Dennis Allen thing, but
Maybe same thing with Kendrick. Kendrick was obviously a Dennis Allen thing.
Kendra was definitely Dennis Allen. Hey, Dennis, we're glad you're off the team, buddy.
Yeah.
Have fun on the Bears. I think you're
That's
going to do a great job.
crazy. Like he literally joined a team and then the owner literally died. If that's not the Dennis Allen effect, I don't know what is.
Yeah. That is crazy. Hey, to all the Bears fans, you get 5 booms.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's crazy. That's such a crazy video.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry your brother died. Let's give a big boom for your brother.
Oh
Those
my
guys are
gosh.
great, though. Those guys are great.
Yeah. Cots go Bears.
Juwan Johnson.
Take it or leave it. He wants a cheap, close to veteran minimum deal. Bring him back. I mean, I kind of was on the fence about him all year long, and then that last couple games, he remembered that he could play football.
Hey,
I was like, where's this coming? Like the last 3 games, he was our leading receiver.
he was our leading receiver throughout the season. He was our leading receiver through the season, not those last 3 games. Through the season. That's a crazy stat. Through the season. And who's our leading touchdown receiver?
Foster Moreau.
It is
right?
Foster Moreau. Both those guys are tight ends? What the heck? Foster, I love Foster
They're
Moreau.
both Spencer Rattler.
I love Foster Moreau. Dude, he's a cool dude.
I like him. He has
He's
a
the
lot
kind of guy
fun.
you build your team around in terms of like leadership, not like play style. Not like play.
Yeah,
He's the
one of
guy
those
who-
leaders.
He's the guy that has like the Tyrann Mathieu mentality of like, I'm gonna speak up. We're not winning games. I'm pissed, and I'm gonna speak up.
It's kind of crazy. You saw Alvin Kamara grow into that.
Yeah, I'm
When
excited.
he was the first 4 years of his career, I don't even think I'd heard him talk other than a couple interviews with Mark Ingram. You know.
Yeah, but okay. So Juwan Johnson, it's kind of up in the air. Who cares? He's 29 years old.
Adam Prentice will be back. I think Nephi Sewell will be back. Landon Young will probably be
Sure.
back. I think those guys are cheap and off of everybody's radar. Well, I mean, we have a new offensive system.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, really, it's really
We may
up
not
in the
need-
air.
We may not need a fullback next year. You know,
But
truthfully.
I mean, all of these guys we can re-sign. None of them are like last year.
The only one that might be expensive for us is Chase Young.
Who is our big player that left last year? Do we have somebody?
I'm sure we did.
Oh well, not okay. I know who it
Oh,
is.
Zach Bond.
Yeah, not
Defensive
really,
Player of the
but
Year.
not really at the time. You're like, okay, well, Zach Bond left.
About
That's
to be
not.
Super Bowl MVP Madden cover for Zach Bond.
I'm excited. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for him.
And I saw his interview with Jameis Winston. He
He has no animosity towards the city.
No.
He really doesn't. And he's a free agent, but he's gonna.
No.
He's gonna stick with the Eagles.
Yeah, he's got to.
I wish. We're moving on. Hey guys, look, here's a quick word from our sponsors. And by sponsors, I mean I'm making sure we don't lose the video again. So I'm gonna press pause on both things and then re goes. And we're back.
And now I think we're about to go on to kind of our drafting list of who.
I love the
you know,
draft.
he loves the
Gosh,
draft.
I love the draft.
You know, I think Mickey Loomis said we're picking 10th this year.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. I really don't. I don't give him.
No,
Dude's focusing on the head coach.
We're picking 9th. We're picking 9th, but
So here we go, guys.
We've got some interesting guys. A lot of these guys will be off the board.
So we're using Tankathon, right? Let's just look at their mock draft, see what they have us picking. All right, so here's the deal. So they got Cameron Ward going first, Abdul Carter, Shador Saunders, which I think he'll be good with. I mean,
Wow.
that'd be a fun pick. That'd be
They
a fun
have
pick
the
for them.
Browns passing up on a quarterback. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, the Browns are going to get Kirk Cousins. No, I think if anybody gets Kirk Cousins, it's.
I think they're gonna get Justin Tucker. Not in the draft though.
Travis Hunter, then Mason Graham, Will Johnson, Will Campbell, Terry McMillan. So and then Mikael Williams. So here's the deal,
Yeah,
and
let's
which that ninth pick sucks because all 8 of those guys beforehand, I really would love for the Saints to draft. Other than the quarterbacks, I don't really care, but the other players. In fact, I don't want Mikael Williams at all. His thing, if let's see what it
it's
says.
very Marcus Davenport, Peyton Turner esque of big physical guy who hasn't quite put it together.
Yeah,
yet,
he's
but
got
has
the
potential.
physicalities.
He's got everything he needs. He just
Injury
has to
history.
Put it all together. Yeah, I say we trade up for him.
Yeah, okay, hold on now. Don't give Mickey's like, that's a good idea. Write that down. Write that down.
No.
But realistically, so obviously the quarterbacks, Cameron Ward, Shador Saunders, they're not going to be there. I don't really care. This isn't a great year for quarterbacks. I could see us drafting a quarterback, but hopefully not in the first round.
Yeah.
I'll owe somebody
Yeah.
a jersey.
Jackson Dart or your Will guy from
Will Howard. I would like Will Howard later on, maybe in like the 3rd or 4th. And then Jackson Dart. Apparently, he's been rising up the board.
I think if you're gonna take a flyer on a quarterback who might be good, just stick with Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
So at number 9, like I said, Abdul Carter would be great. Abdul Carter would be great. He's the opposite of the.
Oh, the
Mikael
Browns
Williams.
might actually take him. Miles Garrett is gone.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be a good
Yo.
pick. Yeah.
That's crazy. They might pass up on. a
Oh
quarterback.
wait. Oh, okay. So real quick. Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So Abdul Carter's gone, right? Or I'm sorry. So Miles Garrett's gone. Whoever they trade him to, the Browns will probably get that person's first round pick.
Oh yeah.
So let's see who would trade. It would be one of these. It'd be one of the top teams. Like it'd be like the Lions or the Bills or God
Dude,
forsake. Yeah,
The Texans have a lot of money.
the Eagles. Could you imagine the Eagles trading for Miles Garrett?
I mean, the Texans and Packers have a lot of money. The Redskins have a lot of money.
the Texans already have pretty good D line.
Yeah, but
I hope he doesn't go to the Packers. Sorry, Dawson. I'm not a big Packers guy, but I don't want him going to the. I hope he goes to a team that I can root for. Anyways, we'll move on. That's a completely different thing. Maybe we trade for him.
Yeah, he wants to go to a contender, and we definitely have the cap space for him.
No, I don't think that's matching.
So I think it's
DeMario
safe to
said
say, it's safe to say
we're on the cusp of a Super Bowl.
Abdul Carter is definitely off the board. Shador Sanders, Cam Ward.
Well, here's the deal.
Travis
Whoa,
Hunter, all those
whoa.
guys
I
are
want
off
Mason Graham. If Mason Graham's there and we don't take him,
I mean,
he's not going to be there.
that's
Will
more
Johnson could be
likely.
there. Will Johnson
Yeah.
could be there, and if we take him,
The
I'm
Raiders-
cool with it.
The Raiders are a wild card. Who knows what that old man Pete Carroll's thinking?
They may take. I mean, we've been seeing
Dude,
they could.
you
They may take
imagine
Jackson
Russell
Dart.
Wilson and Tyler Lockett going back to meet up with Pete Carroll?
That would be awesome. I'd root for the Raiders next year.
Yeah,
I love Ross, dude. And that's
Russ
kind of the thing we
criminally
can.
underrated.
So we're kind of past the free agents, but let's say we do cut Carr, or
be awesome.
or trade him. Either way, if we get rid of him, we're gonna need an extra quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, you roll with Rattler for the year and kind of have that tank. He be your tank commander.
Maybe he works out.
Or maybe he works out. And that would be, which I don't, who knows? Justin Fields will be a free agent. Justin Fields,
Yeah, I saw something where he's expected to make about $15 million next year.
who knows? Who knows? But could you imagine? I mean, just for a second there, I'm not,
Ohio
I was
State
never,
offense.
I was never on the Justin Fields train. But that being said, him being paired back up with Olave would be really
Yeah.
cool.
Say it. Go ahead and say it. I know you were talking about it earlier.
Derek Carr's gone. Dennis Allen's gone.
Ted Ginn might come back. Ohio State.
No, I'm thinking number 13, Michael Thomas. That'd be cool. I mean, come on. I love Michael Thomas.
He'd have to ask Equanimeous
Michael Thomas-
St. Brown for his number back, though.
Fire Equanimeous St. Brown into the sun for all I care. If Michael
He's a
Thomas,
free agent.
who cares? Is he?
I'm sure he is.
He's not on. He was on the list. You know what?
He's not even relevant enough. He didn't play. He's on the practice squad the whole year.
But dude, Michael Thomas is a Saints fan.
Yeah, he is.
I'll give you this. I really thought he'd go play somewhere else.
I said from day one
He wouldn't go play somewhere else.
He's not going anywhere.
You also said the same thing about Marshawn, but I knew Marshawn was gone. You were like,
Got
Marshawn
traded.
doesn't want to play for another team. I was like, Marshawn wants
He
to
got
play for.
traded.
Marshawn definitely wants to play for another team. Anyways, but look, so the guys that I think could be there, I really don't think Mason Graham's falling. I think Will Johnson could. I think Will Johnson and Will Campbell, both the Wills. I think both of those guys could be there.
Yeah.
I'd be cool taking them. You can't have too many tackles, you know, and especially like Penning may not work out.
I want Ted McMillan.
McMillan would be
Or,
so good.
or Ashton Genty. I mean, think about pairing Ashton Genty up from Boise State with Kellen Moore.
Yeah, and AK
Alvin Kamara.
and
If,
I mean, like,
heaven forbid Taysom Hill comes back. I mean, who knows about him?
where's Jamal Williams gonna fit in this?
Jamal Williams.
He's cut. I think he's
cut.
actually gonna be cut.
There was a few that we were talking about that were going to get cut last time.
Your
I
favorite?
thought Cedric Wilson was going to get cut, but now he's got the Cowboys head coach. I mean,
No, give him. I don't. Said. Hey,
yeah.
I don't really care. I don't really care. I care the fact that his cap hits a lot more than it should be. Cedric Wilson,
He's kind of a bum.
get freaking Nathan Shepard off my
Yeah.
team, bro.
What is up with? He is a dirty player. We do not
I'm not a big fan of
we
Nathan
don't
Shepard.
support that kind of.
And get Jamal. I love Jamal Williams as a player, person,
Yeah.
but as on the field player, get him off.
Maybe
I,
he can switch positions to like long snapper or something.
I hope he goes back and plays for the Lions. Let him go back and hang out with his Lions boys. Go win a Super Bowl with those guys next year. That being said, but pairing Genty with Alvin Kamara would be beautiful. That would be.
Yeah.
Ugh. I would not. This is the thing with this pick. You could argue
Pick
any
so many
pick.
different people.
You could argue any of these guys would. I would
assume
love.
that one of those guys in the top 6 to 8 is going to fall to us. I don't feel like Michael Williams.
I
Is
don't want him.
gonna
I
be
do
the
not
best
want Michael
available.
Williams.
Like Kevin Banks. I mean, we got two good tackles right now. I mean, Will Campbell's different because he seems like he's generational.
Will
you
Campbell
know?
is generational. I'm an LSU
Yeah.
guy, and I have no bias. I mean, I think I'm an LSU fan.
Oh, that's
so
my helmet actually. I played for them.
yeah, what year?
I was 2019. I was a quarterback. Look me up. My name's Joe.
So Terry McMillan would be a fantastic pick.
Dude, he's massive.
Dude, he's massive. He's 6'5".
I mean,
He really can suck in them balls too.
he could potentially replace MVS as our best like jump ball receiver of all time.
We're really goofing off this
Yeah,
episode.
no, it's late.
He would
It's
definitely.
It's after my bedtime. It's like 8 o'clock right now.
It's 5:30. No, he would replace. He could be our next like big bodied Michael Thomas type receiver for sure.
Except bigger.
He's 6'5", dude. That dude's a tight end.
Yeah.
And you know tight ends.
He's one Popeye's biscuit away from being in the dirt over here with me. What? Eddie Lacy.
Terry McMillan would be a great pick. He's one of my favorites. I'd be so hyped to get him. You're talking about Kevin Banks. Kevin Banks is, I think people are projecting him to be tackle, but also could switch to guard.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is weird because Will Campbell, it says OT or inner O-line. I will say this with Will Campbell. If we draft him,
day one starter.
move him to left tackle and move Fuaga back to right tackle.
I mean, Trevor Penning, I think we've seen enough, dude.
If you say so.
I think he's solid.
I don't think you can. we got really lucky that both those guys stayed healthy last year.
Yeah.
The only two players really to stay healthy.
We didn't really have a good backup plan. I mean, Landon Young was our backup tackle.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like it hurt watching Andrews Pete get a
You
walk
draft
away because I was so worried about Trevor Penning getting injured.
you draft Will Campbell. You have Penning and you have him and Penning fight for a spot. You know, if Penning doesn't win, oh well. You have Penning and
Trade him.
Sure. I mean, but no, even then, you have a great backup behind him.
Yeah.
Tackles are so hard to come by. You have does not hurt to have. It would not be bad to have 3 good tackles. Then after that, Malachi Starks. I heard some people saying he's pretty good. He's a safety for Georgia. Georgia guys usually are pretty good.
Yeah, especially on defense.
So,
They always work out.
do I want to draft a safety at 9 though? Probably not. I'd probably trade back to get a safety. And then
I'm all in on Genty, dude. I
Genty's
love to see it.
Genty
It's
would be
like
so fun. I mean,
somebody who'll be generational talent.
those next 3 years kind of guy, right? We kind of talked
Yeah.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say later on in the draft, they have him at 29 right here. Jack Sawyer, if he's there at the second round, that'd be a great pick.
Ohio.
The Ohio State guy.
You love Ohio State players.
They work out for the Saints.
Yep.
They work out for the Saints.
Especially the one and only Eli Apple.
I mean, second round Jackson Dart, better than first round Jalen Milroe.
I will.
But I don't want any of these quarterbacks. None of them.
No, me neither. But
We have Spencer Rattler. He's after Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. These guys have the same potential as Spencer Rattler does to me. Like
yeah,
the same sort of unknown, high upside, maybe they work out type of guys.
yeah. I don't want to get a quarterback, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I guess to put it in more YouTube friendly, I will ride the sewer slide all the way down to the end
Onto the cheese grater. Yeah.
if we draft Jalen Milroe. The sewer slide will be a great ride.
He's just like a less,
That's a joke, by the way.
It's funny. He's like a less accurate Anthony Richardson, and Anthony Richardson is not working out.
No, I called that one. Give me my flowers for that one. I called that
You
one.
called Anthony. Well, I mean,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
not
I
bad.
mean,
I mean,
he's not great.
he's not great, but he's not as bad as you said he was.
I'm trying to see if we're going on the Emory Jones. Oh, you know what?
Scatabato. Oh,
Scatabo. I would be cool. Okay, look. I guess if we're playing a little bit the long run, we only talked about the first round pick in the first one, but we have a little more time this time. So Will Campbell, we talked about him, but the other tackle for the LSU this year was really good. And Emory Jones. Emory Jones could come and also play guard. That'd be a good second round pick.
6'6" though.
So, what's his name? Arch Manning is like 7 foot. So, I'm trying to see. I'm just kind of going down the list, see who we got.
Henderson's a good running back.
Yeah, I heard him. This is a stacked running back class.
It really
If we
is.
don't draft a running back in this class, we did something wrong.
But I mean, we technically have
Give me that.
Kendra too. Kendra's not bad.
Okay, so actually, if you
Kendra's not generational.
want to know my ideal draft, I want to go with I'll give you Genty, sure, Genty or
Genty and
McMillan.
Then the guard.
So Genty McMillan, then with our second round pick, I would like to get what's his name? Where'd he go? Donovan Jackson. He'd be a great guard in the second round.
Yeah, he would be.
So you
I
all.
love this Ohio State guy.
I love Ohio State guys. Hey, they just won a national championship.
Yeah.
Same thing
Who
with
they
Jack
beat? Who
Sawyer.
they beat Michigan?
Uh,
I'm just kidding. They can't beat Michigan.
Jack Sawyer, Donovan Jackson, both of those guys I'd love in our second round pick if either of them are there. But with our third round pick, I want an LSU guy. Emory Jones, sure, but Mason Taylor to replace he'd be a great time. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, him and Foster are both LSU tight ends.
Yeah.
Dude, Mason Taylor. I watched him. He played really well. He'd be such a good just a reliable target. Mason Taylor would be. I'd love to get Mason Taylor. You got Jackson Dart right here. You guys aren't seeing what we're seeing, so sorry. I don't care. Look, you can look it up yourself. Yeah. I also would mind Trey Harris, another Ole Miss guy. You know, SEC players, most of the time they're, if you don't know, you could probably just draft an SEC player. Trey Harris would be fun. I'd be cool with Trey Harris.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know too much if I past that point.
Yeah,
if you ask me who I want in the 4th or 5th round, I'm
Yeah.
whoever
A guard,
whoever the Saints
a
want.
defensive end.
Yeah,
We'll just say positions.
yeah, sure.
Safety.
But
Yeah.
that's gonna about do it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be about do it. I'm just kind of going through. I don't see anybody else that I'm like, oh wow. But look, this upcoming season is probably gonna be rough.
Probably.
Probably gonna be rough.
That's
That being
that's
said-
very optimistic.
Talking Saints will be there for every bit. Like I said, it was those last couple those games we didn't record. There was a lot of things. We just got busy. It was a busy end of the year.
Yeah.
Did you really want to go to those games? We did. We went to them, but look,
Yep.
we appreciate y'all for being a part of this season. Our first season, or I guess Saints season. Being
First
supporters.
year of this Talking Saints.
We appreciate all the support on all kinds of things. The Christmas episode. We appreciate all the support on that.
That was a lot of fun to make.
It was so fun to make. It was
Dude, we
not
haven't
as
even-
fun to
we
edit.
haven't even talked about the Christmas episode since the last time we filmed this.
I know we did technically, but the lost tapes.
The lost tapes.
Anyways, guys, Alex, what do you got for us?
I ain't got too much. Just we appreciate all y'all for following us along this journey. Just continue to like and comment and share the videos and help us grow.
One day we'll have an episode where we talk about the Saints winning a Super Bowl. And you'll be dead from old age.
You just have a Ouija board.
Alex, what
Alex,
do you?
are you there? No, I'm not here.
He said no. That doesn't make any sense.
No, thanks everybody. We appreciate you guys sticking around, especially if you made it this far into the video. I know we've done a lot of yapping.
Yeah, it's we kind of got a little more lax towards the end of the season, a little more relaxed. So, but I guess if you're here, if you do answer this, I want to say, who do you want us to draft? Who do you want as your head coach? It doesn't matter. It's gonna be Kellen Moore. But who do you want us to draft? And if out of that list of free agents, who do you want? Who do you want us to
Who
re-sign?
do you want to bring back? Yeah.
And finally, who should replace me on Talking Saints when we draft Jalen Milroe?
Jeez.
Anyways, guys, again, just make sure you stick around because we got some fun stuff coming up. And as always, we'll see you next week or next month.
Talking Saints, feel the rush.